Welcome, traveler. We are about to embark on a journey through time, a journey where we will meet countless people who did many great things. The end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century were crucial times for the growth of the United States. Many of the luxuries we have today, from cars to planes to light bulbs and cameras, were invented during this time and both strengthened the power and increased the comfort of those living in America and the rest of the world too. Our journey starts in the midst of a bloody civil war that racked America. There's a typo. Varied being for 4 long years from 1861 to 1865. Even the furious battles raged and focus of the country lay fixed on this struggle. Many other Americans' minds still looked upon and up to the future and what lay there.
Over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the drums coming everywhere.
Hi, this is Ivy from Gypsy Road. Today we're going to be looking at Homeschool in the Woods and their Time Traveler series. Recently we completed the World War II Time Traveler series, and you can see quite a bit about that over on our post, which I'll link below, about our World War II movie and how the kids spent a semester working on that. And today we're talking about the Industrial Revolution through the Great Depression Time Traveler series, which is set up similarly, but obviously it comes before World War II. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what I've done already and what you can expect to find from a Time Traveler series. The first thing that you'll notice is that I have 2 notebooks. One is already put in there, and the other one is single sheets. It's a lot to print off, and that's the first thing that you'll probably notice when you receive your files to download. It's really overwhelming at first if you've never done one of these Homeschool in the Woods projects. Amy Pack and her crew have done a fantastic job being thorough. They give you multiple different ways to tackle a task, and so that's one of the things that you're seeing. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we open this up. First thing I do is print all of my double-sided printing, and then I put it together. I put all of my lessons together first. Here we've got lesson 1, which is 3 pages long, and that's what I'm going to be reading, and then the projects page tells me exactly which projects we're going to be doing for that day. Since I've done a few of these before, I do not print off those project pages because I know exactly how her thing is set up, and I will tell you the trick to that here in a few minutes. Then we have lesson 2, and it goes all the way to lesson 25. Each of these has 25 lessons, culminating in a party at the very end. Behind this, I put our timeline. As you can see over here are our timeline figures. We have not cut those out because we have not started yet. The boys will cut these out and they will put them in the correct spot as we get to that in the lessons. We keep all of this stuff together because we're going to be using these things every day. The next thing I do is take this copy work. Now, she gives you copy work in multiple ways. She gives it to you in the dotted lines, like we have here, where you're going to be tracing it. She gives it to you in straight line, where you can actually copy it yourself. And then she gives it to you one sheet with all of the copy works for every single day, so that you have them on 2 different pages instead of 25. And then you can keep your own notebook and copy them in there. Since it's my younger son who's doing these, and we're still working very heavily on tracing in cursive, I choose to print out these, and this is one of his assignments every day, is to do the copy work. And I only print out the tracing ones. You do not have to print out every single thing. That's the beauty of it. She gives you many different options. Again, many options. We chose to print out vocabulary cards that had the vocabulary term and the definition with a border. You can do the same thing without a border. You can do just the terms. You can do just the definitions. You could make a game out of it, like a matching game. There are so many different PDFs that she gives you for the same information that you really can custom design your own course here. We went with something simple. I go over the works with the boys a couple of times throughout this unit, and then at the end we kind of play a game with them, sort of like Jeopardy. So I only needed one set of these. And my older son is responsible for writing the newspaper. Each one of these time travelers comes with its own newspaper, and this time we're working on the Industrial Times. After each class, each of the 25 classes, or probably the 24 since the 25th is a party, it will tell you which newspaper articles that you need to write based on what you've been studying. So after the first unit, we're going to be writing East Meets West about the Continental Railroad, and then drawing an advertisement about the Harvey Girls that are wanted. It gives you the pictures. It wants you to draw the ad and the copy for any classified ads sometimes. Let's see if I can find a classified. Here's one, Homes Wanted. Here's another ad. And then you also have to write the newspaper articles based on what you've learned. I keep all of these things together in this one thin folder because that's what we're going to use every single day. I also have really taken a lot of time and put everything together this time as opposed to last time because we're fixing to hit the road again. I want it to take as little amount of space as possible. Now, this notebook has not been put together yet, and this is all my single sides. Everything in that notebook in the first one was double-sided. This one is all single-sided because it's things that we're going to be cutting out and assembling. These are your lap book pieces and your projects and your games. We've got timeline figures. I had just said we're going to be studying the Transcontinental Railroad in the first lesson, and here is our lap book pieces for that. Sorry about that. You guys just missed the boys all flying in here. It's a hot summer day. They've been outside for a while, and they were pretty rambunctious. So, good thing you missed that. Back to what I was talking about. We have a lot of art, a lot of pictures. These are actual postcards from the Chicago Fair, World's Fair. We're going to be talking about the Indian Wars, trading cards. I like how, even though it's a lap book scenario, everything is a little bit different. It's not the same thing day after day. And we're going over some of the groceries from back then. We've got beautiful full-color trading cards. I don't want to show you everything in here. We're going to talk about the Wright brothers and their flight. We're going to talk about transportation, birth of the automobile. Orphan trains are a big subject that most kids don't actually know about from this time period. Let's see if I can find the lap book cover for that one. They will get to write their own magazine and make a magazine cover. There's some sheet music and words for several popular songs from the time period. Whoops. Now we're at our arts and crafts project. There are several arts and crafts projects included with these sets. I sat down with the boys and I chose the ones that they were actually excited about doing. You don't have to do every single thing in here. If you do, that's great. If you have a lot of kids, you might have some kids do one thing, some kids do the other. For example, my boys were not excited about fashion design or playing with paper dolls, which are some of the activities that are included in this section. I have put pictures of those things up on the blog review so that you can see them though. We are going to do some hands-on stuff though. One of them is going to be to make penny rugs, and another is going to be to try our hand at least at making an embroidered silk postcard. And we will report back with pictures of what those look like at the end. We're going to be talking about some of the disasters of the era, making some postcards. Here are some nice full color pictures, and then we get to what the kids were really excited about, which is weaponry. Yes, that's my boys. They're all about some historical weaponry. I will put their site up where they have made all kinds of historical reenactments out of cardboard and aluminum foil. You would be surprised what kids can do. Actually, if you have your own, you may not be. But anyway, as you can see, there's quite a bit included here. There are maps, which somehow I've managed to miss while going through this. And every day is a new adventure. Your kids are going to learn, and internalize and remember so much of what they learn because it's done in a hands-on, almost immersion style. If you haven't tried hands-on or History in the Woods yet, I really suggest their Time Travelers program. We've used almost all of them, and the kids really enjoy them. So check out our review for more information and to access other people's thoughts. Have a great day. I totally forgot to tell you the secret code to being able to read what goes with that without having to have your project passport in front of you. So at the very bottom of each of these pages, there's a tiny little number. It's trying to zoom in, but it's struggling. So this one says M-1-39. That means that the middle number is what lesson it goes with. It goes with lesson 1. It says M2-2 goes with lesson 2, and it's the second page of lesson 2. Here we've got 3-1 and 7-1. So this is the first page of lesson 3 and the first page of lesson 7. If you go all the way to the very last one, oops, that's 2-1. Oh, come on now. It's not wanting to cooperate. If you go all the way to the very last one, you can see it says M1-63. That means that lesson 1 has 63 extra pages that go with it. And that's not typical of all the lessons. Lesson 1 also comes with all of your initial pictures and your timeline figures and all of the extra stuff that you're going to want to get started and set up with. Most of them come with 3 to 7 pages of extra. So don't be freaking out thinking that every single lesson is going to have 70 pages. But that's the code. Use the little bitty numbers at the bottom, and then you're not going to have to print out all of that extra stuff. You can just pull it. I am all about printing less stuff because even printing this today, I completely ran out of ink and had a few things that I couldn't print that I wanted to. We're in a hurry to pack and get ready to leave again. Otherwise, I would just go and get some more ink and print it out. I also recommend the Homeschool Printing Company if you are printing these things. And I have a whole video review about them, which is much better done than this particular video, on our YouTube channel as well. And I will leave a link for that in the comment section too. Okay, I hope that you're having a great day, and thank you.
As of driving Vasina on December 17, 1903, Maple Norfolk Flight may be first successfully airplane flight K-type North Carolina, K-Hawk, North Carolina. Though it was more like an engine on a gyro, the flights were less than a minute. They were still flying, and that made news. It took years before the flight brothers built the invention was prepared to display, but eventually they did, and they became celebrities overnight. Kings and queens wanted to meet the flying brothers. Though they weren't the first to experiment flying machines with Wright brothers, was then the most successful, and it is generally accepted as that they were the first to get a heavier than air machine that can trust on the ground.